Coming to you live. The baddest radio TV talk show around.
My better. We got everything politics on the scene. We got everything media TV news. We got everything politics on the scene. My better. Follow my better. Introducing your host and co-host,
Kevin Nicastiva.
Hey, it's Tuesday, September the 15th, 2020, and we're live from our home studio. I'm your host, Kevin.
I'm your girl, Cassiva.
And you're listening to My Better Half Unplugged.
Yes, you are. And today being September the 15th, tonight we're going to have a great show for you guys. We have the great speaker coming to the show. But tonight we want to remind you guys that voting is coming up. Early voting is October the 13th through the 31st. And the general election is November 3rd. So you better get out and vote like your life depended on it, because it does.
Okay. And along with our program tonight, at the beginning of the year, I would have thought by this time we would be honoring the passing of Kobe Bryant being the man of the year. But with all the things that happened through this year, I mean, it's like choose one. You have the pandemic, you have the economy, you have the death toll, you have the impeachment of a president, you have the fires raging on the West Coast, you got George Floyd and Black Lives Matters, you got the passing away of John Lewis, and now you got the election coming. There's never been a year like this where you had so many catastrophic things that have happened that affected everybody. And we're not even through. So tonight we have a guest, and we're going to talk about, she kind of lines up with what we do. She inspires the better half of your life. And so we want to introduce.
Oh, talk about that fire. I never seen one. That's why I was like, tell them about that fire that's going to look like a tornado fire, they said.
Yeah, you had a fire cyclone. You had a tornadic fire that was in, I think it was in California. And they took a picture of it, and I think it probably went viral. Mm-hmm. But you also have the hurricane that's hitting the Gulf Coast. And because it's moving so slow, they're going to have a lot of flooding. Yes. And, our prayers go out to that area too, because
Alabama.
Yeah. Well, we were looking at the map. They have about 3 or 4 tropical storms that have left the coast of Africa on their way toward the United States. Some of them are going to be on the high side, on the Atlantic side, but a couple of them are targeting coming back through the Gulf again. Mm-hmm. So we're at the peak now of hurricane season. And so a lot of people are focusing on climate change. So you have climate refugees coming out of California because those people's neighborhoods were decimated by the fire, and so everybody's worried because they have loved ones up there, and you're trying to evacuate almost 30,000 people in a COVID pandemic environment. So, like I said, we're far from the end of this year, and it looks like day to day something happens that trumps whatever we thought was bad yesterday.
Yeah.
And so I think we kind of have to do some rethinking here, because I always talk about America. I said America's God is not going to get you out of this. They can print all the money they want to. They're $3 trillion in debt now, and they won't have enough money to recover from this fire. It'll be decades, and then you got the hurricanes coming and decimating. They haven't even taken care of the one that hit a couple of weeks ago. So I think it's time for us to kind of rethink this thing with so much happening. America is kind of on trial now.
Yeah, yeah. So, with that being said, we're going to introduce our guest, who is a prayer leader, an author, a certified life coach, mentor, and a minister of hope. And we're talking about none other than Miss Jacqueline Johnson. Hey, Jackie.
Hey, woman of God, man of God, how you all doing? How y'all doing? I'm so excited to join you all on tonight.
Welcome to the show.
It's a plum pleasure. It's a plum pleasure. I'm excited and delighted. My goodness, it's been a long time since we have connected.
So true, so true. And the way this world going, we need to connect with everybody that's a man of God, woman of God, all that.
So how you been doing through this time? I know during this year, a lot of people had plans to do things, and they had to kind of uh, put them on the shelf. And so how are you faring through this COVID era?
But it's like drilling a basketball. I'm pivoting.
Pivoting all the time out.
Yeah, I'm bouncing this ball, and I'm doing what we have to do, shift and pivot. I'm telling you, I'm excited that, hey, I look at the good, and think
Right,
on those things that are good, lovely, and of a good report. Because if you do anything else or anything other, boy, I tell you, you in trouble.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Bible say think on these things. You
Think
know,
on these
that
things.
that's for a reason because, like I said, I had some thoughts about what you were doing when I was reading it, and the word depression came across because now there are a lot of people who are dealing with that in households, especially single moms. Because they're the only breadwinners and stuff like that. So I know they need a lot of encouragement now.
Yes, I tell you, we are in a season where I think everybody need a
Me
little
too.
encouragement right now, So it's nothing like a season where we get to show up and be the light, where we get
Mhm.
to show up and uplift and encourage people. And it's nothing like having uh, a calling to that, where you
Right,
are called to be able to encourage and uplift, and you take it seriously every day.
right,
Uh, because of not just covenant, but this has really turned the fire up, up under us as Christians, to be mindful that people are stressed out in this season and that they need a little encouragement.
right.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
very
and
much
doing, you
so.
know what, and during this time, that it's funny you said that because I always knew there was a difference between a career and a calling. Because
Yeah.
there are a lot of people who lost their careers, but the people who were born with their callings haven't lost it. Doesn't matter what's going on, your calling is always there.
One time, what my pastor said one time, he said, if you can keep from doing what God has called you to do, I doubt that he has called you.
Right, right,
If you can keep from doing it, and I know a lot of times right now, people trying to keep from doing what God has called them to do in the midst of a covenant, you can't because it wakes you up in the middle of the night, early in the
right,
morning. You could be trying to do something else, and that calling, what you were born to do, what you was handpicked, chosen, elected, created for,
right,
just start coming after you. God will come after you. The
right,
call will come after you.
right, right.
You got different careers and you change them all the different times, and
Yeah,
but boy, I tell you that call, to people, to ministry, um, it ain't gonna lose you. It ain't gonna let you go.
right.
Well, I know that you do a lot of different things. Um, so one of them about life coaching. What made you do life coaching, and when did you become a life coach?
See, but that's a good question, mighty woman of God. I started Adventure in Victory probably 25 years ago, and Adventure in Victory is a 501c3 organization where we provide educational life skills and community outreach services. And out of me birthing Adventure in Victory was where the call came for me to coach. When I started Adventure in Victory, I started to give young people a better way to spend their spare time, because I grew up, I lost my mom at 12 years old. It hit me like a ton of bricks. So it spent my life out of control. I had abandonment issues, rejection issues, who am I issues, just an identity issues. I just had issues. So in starting my organization, working with young people, I started out working with them. And God, as I continued to work with them, I ended up getting in the ministry, joining the ministry at the Potter's House. And you say, how did I end up becoming a life coach? It was God who called me into being able to disciple. So when you start learning, and I take life coaching nothing other but discipling another woman, another young girl, taking her by her hand and being able to, the things that you have learned along the way, taking all your experience, your wisdom, and being able to box it up, and being able to pull on it in a nick of time, just to help somebody else along the way, so that they can be able to be empowered to do what they was called to do. Help them be able to gain the confidence they need.
Yeah.
And I got that from starting Adventure in Victory, working with, I'm talking about hundreds of young people. And God said, Jacqueline, the parents are ill equipped to deal with some of the challenges that they were facing. And out of that was birthed. It was called Women of Destiny. And that's when I first began to start doing life coaching. As I
Oh,
had a Women of Destiny program to bring women in and begin to help them identify with
yeah.
who they
Right.
Awesome. That's great. I enjoy that.
You
I
know,
mean,
there's a difference. I know that you sitting on the TD Jakes, you've heard a lot of sermons, and I remember one he was teaching on the difference between hurt and pain. And you can have pain, you can injure yourself and have pain, but rejection is a hurt that only God can touch. So when you meet young women who have been through, I'll say, the pain, sometimes, sometimes they were raped, sometimes they were abused, those, the pain. How do you deal with the hurt, which is more of a spiritual thing? Because how do you get them over that? The pain sometimes heals, it stops hurting, but the hurt, the rejection, the loneliness, how do you use that based on what you went through to help them?
when you start thinking about hurt, and hurt can snowball you into a pillar of pain, and it can cause you to be in a place where you are, I'm talking about paralyzed. And, and when you start dealing with pain, when you start dealing with hurt, and then you start dealing with shame and what brought you to the pain, as women, we wear so many different hats and play so many different roles. And when those roles change, as often as they sometimes do, you can lose who you are. Again, your identity, because you took care of so many other people, whether it was your brother and your sister, or your spouse. Uh, you can get into a place when those roles change and something happen, that you get into a place where you feel dropped. And how do you handle pain? There's no other place to go, I would say, but to Christ, or
mm,
to the Word of God.
Mm-hmm.
And getting into a place where you get the word that feeds your soul, that brings you into a place of healing. The word will heal you. The word will bring you into wholeness. If you get into that word and start beginning to live and breathe again, that's what it did for me. I know I do running out of your past, and people hear me say that a lot. I'm helping women run out of their past and
Right.
take hold to their purpose. Well, I'm helping them run out of unforgiveness. The Bible says,
Right.
forgetting those things which are behind you, forgive it. And a lot of time that starts with forgiving yourself, you know? So when you begin to start thinking about the pain and the hurt, And you have to get into a place of forgiving yourself so that you can come into a place to understanding how valuable you are.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That you are the apple of God's eye, no matter who left you, who died on you, who hurt you, that there is somebody who loved you so much that he gave his only begotten son that you could have life and have it more abundantly. And when I say life, that you can have a voice. Because a lot of times when you don't know who you are and when you're in pain, when you are, it's like being in a web, you know, a spider web. And it's like you're stuck and you're trying to get out this web.
You're entangled.
Come on now. And you entangled.
Yeah.
And so many women, they get to that place where they decisions, whether it was a bad decision, a bad choice, a circumstance, a situation, something happens that caused them to be entangled. A lot of times somebody have to come get you.
Right. Because you
Yeah.
can't, I'm saying, because you get knots.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
knots. And then somebody has to come and help you, get untangle that knot. But
And that's what Adventure and Victory does. That's what our program, Destiny Chaser and Dream Builders, is helping women get into a place where they get unstuck.
Right.
Get into a place where you take hold of, you get clarity, to understand who you really are. And you can begin to pull off the labels that people have put on you. Because growing up, I always say, if the enemy couldn't get you aborted, and you make it from the hospital to home, oh, he ain't done. Oh, he coming after you. So a lot of times, a lot of things happen in the house. They say, well, it stays in the house. What happens in the house stays in the house.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of that growing up. But a lot of things happen in the house, and the enemy, if he couldn't get you to be aborted, and we know we got so many issues now with abortion and the 60 million babies that's being aborted. That's why we got to pray, intercede, for a mind of Christ, for the people to have a mind of Christ. Because if he can't get you at the hospital, oh, he coming to the house. If he can't get you at the house, he coming to the schoolhouse. If he can't get you in the schoolhouse, oh, he coming to the college.
right.
He ain't gonna give up.
To one of your institutions.
Oh, yeah. So
Yes.
it's a lot, man of God.
So, Jackie, tell me about one of your failures that you use to encourage those who might be in the midst of a storm and they trying to get out.
We call failures testimonies.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times I would use my Damascus Road experience. There I was doing everything I was big and bad enough to do. And a lot of times as we grow up and we want to be grown, well, I had been grown a long time because my mom died at 12 years old. So I had been grown a long time. I've been an entrepreneur ever since I was 12. So I opened a salon somewhere in my 20s. And there I am. My girlfriend said, I'm about to put the baddest do on you. I'm going to make it do what it do. And she did that thing. And I left and went to the club called Dreams. And when I think about dreams, I think about, and we all have them, but this was a club called Dreams. Mm-hmm. And I remember that night getting so intoxicated. And my girlfriend said after we leaving the club, she said, can you make it? I said, I got this. And on my way home, I hit a telephone pole. And there I was, unconscious. And you're talking about failure. One is getting in the car driving while you're intoxicated. And I made that choice and that decision on my own. And so many women are making choices and decisions on their own that are not good choices, that are not good decisions, that will leave you at a crossroad, that will leave you in pain, that will leave you broke up, that will leave you crippled. I had made a decision that night that could have left me for dead. So I'm laying there, don't hit a telephone pole, and a gentleman said he was coming from David and Buster. And he said he saw a head in the car. And he said he pulled over, walked over, I'm unconscious. And I tell people I had a name change that night from Jackie to Jacqueline. So a lot of people that knew me in the past, they would call me Jackie, but people who know me now call me Jacqueline.
Right.
So I'm laying there unconscious, Jackie was. And the gentleman said, he shook me. What is your name? Powerful question. Powerful people ask powerful questions. That was a powerful question. What is your name? He said, I woke up long enough to say Jackie and passed back out. Another gentleman showed up. He said, the gentleman said, he said, we need to move her because the car is just not, it's not in good. He said, no, you never move a person who been in an accident. He said, I'm gonna go call for some help. He said, well, I'm gonna stay here with her. While he was standing there, he said, flames started dazzling on the hood of the car. And he said, now he's in a fight with his instinct in the man's voice. And he's vacillating back and forth. And he's saying, I got to move her. Flames are dazzling on the car. He looks at me, I'm unconscious. He says, his instinct won. He picks me up, carried me some distance, laid me on the ground. He said, I woke up long enough to say I'm cold. He said he took his coat off, laid it on top of me, and instantly, boosh, the car went up. I said, after he called me back the next day, I'm laying up in Parkland Hospital. And he tells me the story I just tell you. I tell God, if you love me that much, that you would send a good Samaritan to fetch me out of a car somewhere around 3 o'clock in the morning. My hands is off the steering wheel of my life. Here I come to serve you. If I would tell any woman that's having failure, that's at a dead end road, that feels like I done messed up, jacked up my life, I would say, get your hands off your life. Throw your hands up in surrendering mode. Ask God, tell God you sorry, forgive me. All of what I have thought I was and all up to this time, here I am. I present myself a living sacrifice, a living sacrifice. Teach me what you want to teach me. I'm open for any personal development coaching. Sign me up. Sign me up today, because the way that I was thinking, the thoughts that I had and the things that I was doing, and if I would have kept doing the same things the same way, then I wouldn't be here talking to you all today on Valaham.
You know, I always tell people, you know, when you're in your past, what you think is so tragic, you're actually in class.
Yeah.
You're actually in class.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
You count it as bad, but you're actually in class.
All the time. Every day.
Every day.
Every day. God is teaching the students.
Right.
The students something. God, every day, God is teaching the students something, you know? And it's nothing like it. I thank God for helping me, strengthening me, giving me enough sense to forget those things which are behind me and come into a place of being more productive right here in our community.
You know, when I think about a coach, a lot of times, you know, a coach doesn't coach just a game. He coaches for a season. So the women that you come across have seasons. A lot of times when people say, I'm a life coach, they think about you get up here and speak, and you speak to 1,000 people, then you leave them and you go to the next 1,000. And I believe that you are more hands-on, so that you come in contact with women who have seasons, and you have to coach them through a whole season instead of a game day. So that's what I admire about life coaches that have that kind of perspective, you know, because a lot of times you just don't coach somebody and then tell them, hey, snap out of it, get over it, you know, and then you leave, because those people are almost like your Elisha. They stick with you, you know, they just stick with you and they won't leave.
It's so, and you know, it's mentoring. So you're taking them again, mentor. And because the vision that God has given me of outreach, it allows the women that come alongside of me, that comes and join me in this journey, it allows them to be able to now give back. So through the different outreaches that we do, like we just finished doing the back to school event. And it was, this one was different because it was a drive-through because of COVID-19. So it gave all the women, we had so many volunteers, and I thank God for women who serve and men who serve their community. But you had so many women that was able to come. And these women are so smart, so gifted, so lovable, and they can give that away. And with having community outreach activities and opportunities, it gives them a way to stand up. It gives them a way to give back and to give themselves away. And
Right.
so that's what makes it so phenomenal about Destiny Chasing Dream Builders, is because they have a day too where they can give back, like for Christmas. Not only the back to school, we're doing 1,000 children before Christmas. Well, all of them are a part of that. A lot of them, I'm telling you, they're geared up and they're coming. But I love seeing the teamwork. I love seeing the unity. I love seeing the growth. And at a time like this, where women can come together. So, man of God, I'm telling you, I'm excited. I get excited about the women that have made up in their mind that they're ready to leave their past behind, that they're at a crossroad, and that they are making decisions that better cause them to be contributing members of their community, where now they're becoming entrepreneurs. I just visited one young lady last night who just started a group home. And the group home is sober living. And actually, it's two other young ladies. They're in their 30s. And I just admire that. I admire that young women have a vision, and they pulling their visions and dreams off the shelf, and they are going for it. Oh my goodness, that's a plug. If you haven't joined my Masterclass 2020 Vision, I'm talking about 2020 Vision Masterclass, where you have to have a vision, because without a vision, you perish. That class helps you be able to get clarity about what it is. My God, God is showing you. So when you see something, you say something. So I just love it. I just love it. I just love what's taking place with the women and how they're able to take their God-given gifts and to be able to now shape them and be able to mold them. And I couldn't do none of this without friends and partners and individuals in the community who come alongside of me and help me do what it is that I'm doing through the Destiny Chasing Dream Builders transformation of personal development and professional training.
So when you say, Jacqueline, that running out of your past, are they running out of their past, or is?
Girl, a lot of them are leaving they past behind, because I'm telling you, abuse is abuse. You know, when you when you are single, and it's so much going on right now, they're leaving their past behind because a lot of abuse is in their past, and they're stepping into the newness of life. So don't nobody want nobody abusing them verbally or physically. So a lot of time when I say that, they're running to leave all of that behind. Now, I ain't gonna hate you for what you did for me. You left me for dead. You left my baby for dead. Your child for dead. You divorced me, took everything, and a lot went on with that. You go to the courthouse now, it's like, well, you probably can't get in the courthouse now because of what we're going through. They're doing court on Zoom. But when I sit in the courtrooms, it was like, it was so much tension. It was so much throwing. I mean, they were throwing everything in the house, all the furniture across the table and in the courtroom, and the poor little babies, It's like you forgot about the baby.
Right.
You forgot about the child. So just in the abuse, CPS, the phone calls, all the calling the police been at your house 25 times in 3 months. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Right. One time too many is a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So it's real life being a single parent, and just some of the different issues that go on, in the inner city, and then also in the suburbs. So the enemy ain't missing nobody's house.
No, not at all.
Ain't missing nobody's house. So just the domestic violence, and again, the men mentioned rape and molestation and all of this stuff that that takes hold to, I mean, working with people, you have to just kind of be able to decipher, to discern what's mental.
Right.
Because some of this stuff right now, we got mental illness, that's serious business, and sending people into depression. So we have a lot that women now are running out of and pulling their life back together. And I mean, I'm seeing women who are overcomers. I'm seeing women who are conquerors. I'm seeing women who God is turning giving them beautiful ashes. I'm seeing women, I'm talking about running out of. I'm talking about saying, you know what? I shut the door, locked it, and threw the key away. I ain't going back.
Right. Yeah, because on the other side, even like you said, you're running, out of your past into your destiny.
Yeah.
It's still a pressing. Like you use the scripture where it says, "Forget those things that are behind. I'm gonna press forward." So it's not just a walk in the park.
It's not just a walk in the park. No.
Yeah.
By no means.
Yeah, because Paul said it. Paul said, "No, I gotta press. I gotta press forward because those things can pull you back." So it's like one of them things that is still kind of attached to you, even though you close the door, but you got to press forward because it will pull you back. So if you're not going forward and pressing forward, if you're just going to leave and just do a walk in the park, it doesn't work like that.
And right now we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back and finish our conversation with Jacqueline Johnson of Adventure Victory.
Hey, it's Tuesday, June the 2nd, 2020.
On Facebook.
Hey, everybody knows that we're in a pandemic and schizophrenic period of time. And it seems like everything is changing from hour to hour. But even though there's a civil unrest, there's still a pandemic problem lurking. And coming to you live from our home studio, you're listening to My Better Half. And you can check us out on
Not a damn thing.
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
I'm your host, Kevin.
And I'm your girl, Cassiva.
And this question is for both of you. Is it still, in today, the color of the skin, or is it the state of mind? Is racism the color of the skin, or is it the state of mind?
Since I gave that long,
Yeah, I was gonna ask Doug.
go ahead.
Well, it is.
And in the 60s,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
right around I guess the late 60s, we had to Hey, we're back on My Better Half Unplugged. I'm your host, Kevin,
I'm your girl Cassiva
and we've been having a great conversation.
with Miss Jacqueline Johnson of Adventure Victory.
Mm-hmm.
She was telling about her life story, her life testimony. I don't call them failures or whatever, but her testimonial, which was very interesting. And she's telling you how she can guide you out of your storms into your victory. So, Jackie, we are back.
Yeah, and one thing that we talked about before we left, you was talking about the group of people, because a lot of people, I think we're all given our talents and abilities, but a lot of them are buried. The talent that God gave us, a lot of people are buried because they're scared to use it. And so sometimes it takes somebody to come along,
Absolutely.
have them to unearth that thing. Because it's
Absolutely.
been buried a while. And they're surprised. You got to like dust it off and say, okay, let me show you what this is. And then they use it and then it multiplies in the marketplace.
Absolutely. We have been people who have been church. I kind of want to say have just been uh, something about church, something about titles uh, that have gotten in the way of people allowing God to use them and to allow their gift to come to the forefront because of the way they have been taught in church and what titles have done to people. So now you have a generation of, oh yeah, generation. It's a whole lot of a mixture right now. So it's a lot of the wheat and the tare growing up, but it's a lot of a generation of wanderers. I wonder, should I say this? I
Right.
wonder, uh, Mother May I, instead of being led, the Bible said as many are led by God are sons of God. And he don't see gender, so women, daughters of God too. So many people, gifts have been, they've been sitting on them because of titles and because of church. And when I say church, I'm saying religion. And they're finally coming into a place. I believe that this pandemic, man of God, woman of God, I believe this pandemic the shelter in has caused people to go into such a consecration, such a place of resetting, such a place of reevaluating, such a place of reinventing. I believe this pandemic has caused people to really go inwardly, where they were looking outwardly at people and men and things and titles, you know. And now that we're in a new season, I believe now people are going to be walking in their divine gift, and they're going to really understand that they have been created as Christ's craftsmanship for a good work. And this is about to be real good right now because you're about to see men and women on the rise that was quiet, but God is bringing them into a place of understanding how valuable they are. I thank God for about a half and what you all are doing right now and the exposure, that you are bringing to the forefront right now, because this is what you're going to see. And this is what you see. You see so many people now coming into their gifting. They're coming into their purpose. They're coming into their power and they're operating in it, understanding that when Jesus got up, they got up too. And it was a time where they didn't think where they had a voice. There was a time where they didn't think that they could really raise their hand and that they could get up and not only get up, dress up, show up and speak up. And that's what we're seeing right now.
Right. Because that's what happens, truth, it won't make you free, it will set you free. And so there are a lot of people are set free from being imprisoned into a mental system.
When truth is spoken, change is broken.
Right.
So the chains, the handcuffs come off. When truth is spoken, see, when God sets you free, you're free indeed.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so that's like, what we were talking about a few minutes ago, about touching people. You all talking about having that, because of the pandemic, you have to do a drive-by, but you don't have to have contact to touch somebody.
No.
Now
And
you
that's
can
what I'm saying.
now you can just drive by. The Holy
Yeah,
Spirit can do a drive by.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
And you can touch them. You can touch somebody and not be in the same state. You know, so I think people are learning that they
Absolutely.
have the power of touch,
Mm-hmm.
you know, without having to be present, you know, with somebody. So I think even this year is going to be a little bit more powerful than last year when you're talking about your Christmas activity event that you all talking about having, because you
Building
know
the
how
bridge.
many homes are broken. How many homes? It's probably now you know if you're talking about you had maybe 3% unemployment maybe beginning of the year, 2%, and now you have 8, 9, 10, 11. You know how that multiplied the kids. If you were doing that service around Christmas, it's multiplied this time.
Mm-hmm.
And
And kids look at things differently. They look at despair differently because when you change the order of their life and they don't understand it in the adult sense, they don't know mama can't make the bills or get them nothing for the season. They're looking forward to the same thing. They're not understanding necessarily the pandemic. They were looking forward to school and they didn't know why we can't go to school. So
absolutely.
I think the devastation part is around Thanksgiving and around Christmas time with kids and trying to explain what is really going on.
So this is a good time for your prayer in the city. So tell us what is prayer in the city.
I'm so excited about prayer in the city, and God gave me prayer in the city on last year. And before the pandemic come, we didn't know that we already was praying, but God specifically said for the city. And prayer in the city is where intercessors come together, and we began to pray together over the city, over the issues in the city, from the White House to our house, from the schoolhouse to the courthouse. This is where we began to come together and pray for. I'm talking about our communities. I'm talking about for spouse marriages. Uh, we come and pray for divorce. We come and pray for business. We come for pray for DISD, the children. I'm talking about a host of intercessors come together, and we invite people in. I'm talking about on Facebook and all to join us. Where we come together because the intercessors it is a need to intercede right now. It is
Mhm.
definitely a need. So coming together, and it's power in unity. The
Yep.
Bible says how good it is to dwell together in unity. It's nothing like coming together, not talking about the issues, but praying about the issues. And we have so many. So
Right.
prayer in the city is where intercessors come together and together every third day of the month, every third Saturday of the month. We fast on every third day of the month on our Miracle Monday morning prayer line. But on the third Saturday, 3 is a very important number to me because God pulled me out of the car at 3 after 3 o'clock in the morning. So we
Wow.
always fasting and praying on the third day. And then every third Saturday, intercessors come together and we reach out and we
Mm-hmm.
and we come together and bombard the city.
Hmm.
And we truly believe that God is birthing. It's the ninth month. God is birthing dreams and visions right now. God is birthing the promises of God right now. Deliverance is taking place. Healing is taking place. Restoration is taking place right now. God is calling his people back to himself. An awakening is taking place right now. So prayer in the city is all about us coming back to God, all about us coming together. No big eyes and little O's. I love how God has just landed the plane right now. He
Hmm.
just have landed it, you know.
And you say it's going to be the third Saturday of this month. I
The
mean,
third actually is coming up this Saturday
the
at
ninth.
10 o'clock. So everybody listening under the sound of my voice, you are invited to join us to pray. Let's pray for businesses. Let's pray for parents. Let's pray for DISD. Let's pray for all the fires that's breaking out all over the nation. Let's come together and bombard heaven for an awakening to take place this Saturday. I am inviting you right now to join us that we may press in and press in. Woo.
Powerful, powerful, powerful.
I'm excited. You know, it ain't nothing about when God is giving you something to do. Because if God don't give you something to do, somebody gonna come give you something to do, right? Yeah.
Yep. It could be
So
the
you
devil.
better have something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can it, what can excite you really is, we talked about purpose.
Yes.
And when you
Yes.
fall into a purpose, especially in life, like you said, you can have joy in the midst of chaos or trials. So I know it's a lot of things going on in the United States, and a lot of people are kind of like moping, and sometimes they will mistake. So why are you happy? It's not happy. It's hopeful.
Hmm.
It's hopeful. That's a difference. See, your happiness is based on something to make you happy. And so when you don't have that, then you can't bring happiness. But you ain't got to worry about that joy. You don't have to worry about that because joy don't need happiness. Joy is there even in the midst of sorrow
One
because
thing. Yeah.
joy always has a hope in
Yeah.
something. Yeah. So I think that we're in a time now that we need to I know we've been standing, but I think it's a time now we need to bend our knees.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
This
We
is a
need to bend
time
our,
to be planted. I'm
right.
talking about really planted like a tree by the rivers of water, that bring forth
Bring forth
fruit.
his fruit in
Yeah.
his season. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a time for people to really get planted. A
Mhm.
double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. A double-minded woman is unstable in all her ways. So
Right.
this is the time for her in him to get planted in the things of God.
Mhm.
It's the time to get planted in love and respect, you
Right.
know.
And I
Uh,
know that you're looking for people to help you, and they can help you coming up on North Texas Giving Day. I think that's on the 17th.
North Texas Giving Day. Yes, it's a day where people are giving to charities all over the world. And Adventure and Victory is one of the charities that's on the ground all through the year, from mentoring, coaching, uh, back to school, Christmas coming up, 1,000 kids. North Texas Giving Day is a day where people can go. It's open already. They have already started giving. So you can just go to northtexasgivingday.org and push the button and select Adventure and Victory, whether it's $10, $5, or $1,000,000.
Right.
Adventure and Victory will use it for the kingdom of God, to scholarships on women, some young ladies, to help them become a better them. I'm telling you, gain the confidence, overcome setbacks, and walk in there. I'm talking about tap into their authentic power and walk in it and show up with their awesome self. So yeah, North Texas Giving Day is a day that people are gonna be giving to their favorite charities, to charities that are, and people are looking. I know people right now. We are more passionate and people who are just, I mean, just with giving hearts right now. People are giving, you all. I have seen so many people. I'm telling you, the back to school just blessed me. I mean, people brought. I haven't seen so much food in my life. I mean, just truckloads and just popping the trunk, and they taking apples, oranges, potatoes. It's just food, tuna, stuff that they can use though. Perish because when whoever it is right now, when you unemployed and you trying to figure out the medication and a light bill, gas in the car,
Mhm.
you trying to figure out. I mean, this is these type of things in the neighborhood matters.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Organizations
true.
that are giving back right now, we don't know what the neighbor going through next door.
Right.
Because a lot
Exactly.
of us ain't knocked on the door, but I've been giving and just blessing,
Yeah.
and I know you all have too. And I'm telling you, this is a season where unity and love is breaking out. I just been seeing so many people loving and unity, and I'm excited about what God is doing in
Right.
the lives of His people.
That's
Yeah.
why we try to put the word out. It broke my heart a few weeks ago when I saw them evict these people out of their apartments and they had the
Mm,
elderly woman sitting in the chair outside, and they gave her one more day to stay in her apartment. And that's going all over. That's going everywhere, all over the nation. It's just that one there was on film. So, what you said about people giving and you not knowing what your neighbor's going through, I think we have like of an awakening, and it's a consciousness about our neighbor now.
Yes.
So we do the second greatest commandment now.
Yeah.
To love your neighbor as you love
You
yourself.
love yourself.
Because I believe we had got away from that. It was almost every man for himself for a while. These crabs in a bucket. But I think we've gotten back to a sense of that. That my neighbor, if I have to learn how to love myself, and then I can translate that love to my neighbor.
That is so good. That is so good, so good. And again, get into a place where you're not selfish, but you are in a place where you are thinking about other people, and it's something when you can get your eyes off of you,
Right.
off of what you
Too
want.
many mirrors in the house.
Yeah, too many mirrors.
Mirrors in the house.
People want stuff and throw away people. So I'm just like, hey, let's keep the people and throw away the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to get to that place where we just really, I say, be grateful. Be grateful that we still here, that God haven't just pushed the button, that fires haven't came in and just consumed America.
You know what I said?
Mhm.
I said this beginning of the year.
Uh-huh.
I said America was great, but it wasn't grateful.
Woo! America was great,
Great, but it
but
wasn't
it
great.
wasn't grateful.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. We got to get to be a grateful people and understanding the king and that we in his kingdom, since we've been adopted out of darkness. We know there's a war going on, darkness
Yeah.
and light right now. I mean, it is totally a chaotic war. It's a knockdown. You call on your God and I'm gonna call on mine. So it's a war going on right now.
Yeah.
So we have to be.
Yeah. When you put a tornado in the midst of fire, something happened.
Never seen it before.
Something happened. Yeah.
Never. But God, see how fast an hour goes. So if they want to get in touch with you, Jackie, how would they get in touch with you?
If you want to get in touch with me, adventurevictory.org is one of the places that you start. And then you can also contact me at contactdestinychasers at gmail.com. And for women out there that you feel like you are at the end of your rope, you had a crossroad, you have went as far as you have went on your own, you have made a mess out of things. So you're just in a place where, Jacqueline, I just need to reset. Then I want you to call me. I want you to, if you are ready, if you are truly ready to just leave some stuff behind and really push the reset button and begin to live again, dream again, walk again, then I want you, let's get a session together. Let's talk. Because I really want you to know that there is a champion screaming to get out of you, a winner, maybe a wife, a mother, screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what you've been through, and no matter what you have done and who you did it with, you can start over again.
Right. Because you're still becoming.
Mhm.
Because you're still becoming.
You're still
Your
becoming.
best days are not behind you.
That's right.
Your best days are ahead of you. Reach out to me, visit adventurevictory.org, my Jacqueline Johnson Facebook page, inbox me, say, Jacqueline, I'm sick and tired of getting in my own way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sick and tired. Every time I try, my old self keep jumping up.
Right.
My old memories. And every time, and I just want to bury that girl and be planted.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the season to be planted right now. And to
Really?
know that greatness is calling you. The Father has already kissed you with a kiss of favor if you're still here. So this is the time to know who you are and that you're valuable and that you have a voice and that somebody is dependent on you. And I'm dependent on you. I'm dependent on you to get the help that you need this year.
That is awesome. That is awesome what you're doing with those families and things like that. And I'm glad that you were able to come on the show tonight and grace us with your presence and all that excitement going on.
Well, I thank God for what you all are doing. Keep doing the work that you all are doing because you all are reaching the people.
Mhm.
We're trying, girl. We haven't seen them.
Now you all are doing it. You're doing it. I'm telling you. If you got anybody on here looking and listening right now, and the producer know he behind the scene. He know it is somebody listening to you all right now. So I want you all to get excited and just know that hey, God has kissed you with a kiss of favor, and it's not by happen chance that you all have a better half. And just look at couples who you all are a couple. You're married. My God, that's ministry all by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They're amazed. They're amazed. You come across people, they're amazed. Listen, you work with your wife? Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got some, man of God, you got some oil over there.
Yeah. Yeah. Sprinkle, sprinkle. I have to anoint her a couple of times.
Hey, I'm keeping them right for y'all over here. I'm keeping them right, but I'm telling you, you want a destiny chase and a dream builder. That's the kind of woman you want, but I'm keeping them right over here.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
you know
right.
what? We were teaching a class one time for some young people, and they were going on and on. And I asked them a question. It was a lot of young women in there, and I told them, I said, "Do you want a Christian or you want a man of God?"
What they
I
say?
said, "You get a Christian anywhere." I said, "You want a man of God?"
How long y'all been married?
Long enough.
You forgot.
Yeah.
Because we dated a while. That's that. We throw that into our marriage. When we met, we call that our marriage. We just had a wedding. we, were, we, were, we were married. We were married when we met.
He said I was fussing him like I was already his wife.
Hey, he knew. Hey, he that finds a wife finds a good thing. He knew that.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, honey.
Yeah. And she called it when we met. She said, "Hey, look here. I'm not gonna be dating you 2 years. The clock is ticking.
Find out if this is the real thing."
That's the real thing. Yeah.
That's
She
right.
said, "I'm not wasting time anymore."
I say, hey, I'm that virtue woman, honey, and you better keep it moving.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
Yeah. I say, so you don't have 2 years to go, honey.
Hey, if you want it, then put a ring on it.
But Jackie, we ain't finna play with you, girl. But
hey, laughter is good for the soul.
It is.
It is.
We're gonna laugh through this
Oh, we
pandemic.
laugh all day over here.
Laugh through it.
Yeah.
It is, girl. It is. I'm gonna tell you a joke, but I forgot it now.
Well,
She don't need those jokes on there.
All right, y'all. Y'all better stop.
Yeah, I've been telling you a joke, but I forgot what it was, so I ain't gonna put it out there. But,
Well, I have enjoyed you all. Thank you for having me. Invite me back anytime. I love people.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming. And you guys can follow us on Kevin Casiva, our Better Have Network.
Say it loud.
And our Better Have Kevin Casiva Unplugged on Facebook, YouTube. And also you can buy some of our gifts at cafepress.com /Kevin Casiva. No, Better Have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also we did a virtual camp for our kids on Tomorrow's Purpose. And we're going to do another camp because that one was so successful that they're asking us to do another camp. So come in soon. We'll be putting it out so you guys can be a part of our other fall camp.
If you have kids out there looking to be entrepreneurs, they have a vision or a business in their mind, we can help them, push that forward through our camp. And so that's what we did for the kids that joined our camp this time. We did a pilot and it was so successful. A lot of people, joined in to see our graduation. And it took us a month to do that. A lot of times people look at, camps and they say, man, it takes, we did all of that in a month.
So we'll be putting out some more information. So look forward to it on our page, tomorrowspurpose.org. our page, Tomorrow's Purpose, on Facebook. Yes. And Instagram. So, with that being said, thank you again, Jackie, of Adventure and Victory. Look for her on Prayer in the City coming up, and also on North Texas Giving Day. So, thank you, love. Appreciate you, and you guys have a great night, and we'll see you
Remember,
later.
subscribe to our channel.
Oh, yeah. Please subscribe and hit the like button, subscribe, and follow us. Have a good night. Thank you.